Wanders in the dark where the shadows creep, spinning tales of power secrets they keep. 8 times leverage, dancing on the edge, but sinks at 100% dreams now hanging by a thread. Who is the cowboy pulling all the strings? A masquerade of whispers, the chaos it brings. Take 2 and go back to sleep tonight. GTA 6 never fades into the night. They gather in silence, plotting the play. Lines on the chart, they paint the decay. A community screams with a voice so loud, but the cabal just laughs under their shroud. Who is the cowboy pulling all the strings? A masquerade of whispers, the chaos it brings. Take 2 and go back to sleep tonight. GTA 6 never fades into the night. The advocate stands, but the odds are steep, fighting the tide while the puppets leap. Echoes of truth drowned in the roar. The cabal's machine, always wanting more. Who is the cabal pulling all the strings? A masquerade of whispers, the chaos it brings. Take 2 and go back to sleep tonight. GTA 6 never fades into the night.
What's up, guys, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 23 of COTI Confidential. We're a little bit late today because of the Supercut watch party, which we'll probably talk about in a bit. But I'm going to say hello to Soren. How's it going, man? Soren's muted and probably sending out links right now.
Yeah, sorry, I was just sending out the link. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and thanks Tracer for putting all that effort in, not just with the interview, but with all the highlights afterwards and the supercut. Big hat tip for you, mate, because I know you've been working like an absolute beast for the last 5 or 6 days to basically pull all this off, and that's just insane. So really much appreciation, not just from me, from everyone.
And when things kind of got to a point in Israel where they thought that they could hold this thing, I didn't have much time to put it together, guys. I had something really special planned, but you'll see that in the second edition. And the alpha on that, I will say, is maybe you can be a part of it. Right? So come up with some good questions. I'm going to pull up your weekly update. If you could ramble on a little bit while I find it here. I've got tons of stuff in the feed here.
It's all right. I have it here. I have it here on screen. So,
right.
So no big deal. Yeah. So I mean,
Right.
Yeah. Obviously, the big event of the week was your interview with Shahav, and you know, the very first thing that struck me, and this is important for context, I think. I like to put, this is me personally, I like to put things in context. So he published, I don't know what it was, a 20-page blog post and did a 2-hour interview. And to be honest, I think we covered around 90 to 95% of the ecosystem. So after all of this, we can't actually say we've been the whole way around, because probably a few bits here and there missing. That's how far we've come as an ecosystem just in the last 3 or 4 months, and that in itself is mind blowing. That is a, old COTI V1. We could have had all this done in a 40-minute AMA, done, finished. Everyone's happy, questions answered. But it's not like that anymore. And Shahaf clearly understands that. So super happy that he's also signaled very clearly that he's committed to doing this more often. So a couple of the things that really were the highlights for me personally, and I think most people have now either seen the full interview or the supercut, but people should really watch it because there's so many good things in there. But for me, the highlights personally was that was the news on JET, that working to not only open source it, which is sort of like a work in progress, but also to make a private jet. So stablecoins is widely accepted to be the killer app in crypto. And the fact that we have a stablecoin that is completely and utterly stable, possibly a bit clunky, but utterly stable to the point that it's boring. There's nothing really we can say about it. That is super exciting, because what happens when you open source this? What happens is people can over collateralize in different ways. Doesn't have to be 800% over collateralized. It doesn't need to have the JET Shen mechanism. It doesn't need to be backed by ADA. It could be backed by any token. It could be backed by any currency. It could be backed by any commodity. It opens up a million pathways. And this is why I often go on about, the same thing goes for garbage circuits. Really, in my personal opinion, that should be open sourced sooner rather than later. Because once you open source things, the proliferation basically goes parabolic if you have a good product. Yeah, so you have a good product, you open source it, things start to happen. So that was the big news for me, the biggest one of them. The second biggest, obviously, geofencing, and I'm super happy to hear Shahaf doubling down on this. So I think basically we're quite clear on this now, that the very latest point at which Shahaf will geo unfence is when we have the node system up and running. So that's great, and with could be even earlier, but that's subject to the prevailing legislative winds blowing out of the US. And I think here the old saying of once bitten, twice shy fits very well, because one of the things that was in the original interview was it was quite clear that that Shahaf was surprised, to say the least. That was a bit of a shocker to him that COTI all of a sudden got mentioned in the Binance lawsuit. Now, just for context, basically the mention of COTI in the Binance lawsuit was around Binance having facilitated, I think it was wash trading of a number of tokens. I think they listed more than 20 tokens, and COTI was one of them. And this was back years and years ago. But so yeah, definitely once bitten, twice shy. So he's going to be careful with it, but he's also made his mind up that this needs to happen. Finished. The third one that I picked out was the new platform for let's call it Miles and More platform, just for the sake of everyone understanding what we're talking about. So basically a loyalty platform where you can earn COTI by completing different tasks, using certain apps or posting certain things. So you can, it's going to be all sorts of ways. I mean, we don't know exactly what it looks like yet. And clearly it was meant to be a secret. So thanks, Shahaf, for dropping the alpha on that. But there's ways to earn more tokens. Yeah, and just on the context of that, and in addition to that, you go on Privex right now. They got trading Olympics. They got all sorts of little competitions going on where you can win 2, 3, 5, $700 just by trading. Yeah, it doesn't matter your trades are successful or not. Matters that you trade. And there's still only not that many participating right now. So you could be in with a shout for a bit of easy cash there. So yeah, that was great. The ECB project's progressing, as is the digital shekel. That's something I picked up as well. Shahaf did not talk about the shekel, the digital shekel. That's very much going in the background, and so is the ECB. I think the ECB is on a much shorter runway than the digital shekel. All the noise coming out of the ECB suggests that they want all this buttoned up and done before year end. And it seems like there's not yet at least too much politics gone into it. So that was super interesting. And Shahaf mentioned that privacy is not it's not a one winner takes it all. Yeah, and this is very clearly a use case where garbled circuits will shine, where you can't use FHE, you can't use ZK, you can't use any of the other technologies because they're too slow and they can't handle more than 2 parties compute. There are other use cases where they are much more useful than garbled circuits, and I think that was the whole point Shahab was making there, that that is a killer use case for garbled circuits, stable coins and stablecoin transactions. So there was a lot around the theme of stable coins. So yeah, that was brilliant. A lot more came out of this, and I'm sure we're going to discuss a lot of it tonight. But I wanted to just touch on a few other things. We had a great new partnership announcement with Statwick, which is a company using blockchain to track more than 100 million vaccine doses worldwide. My first thoughts on this were actually, I thought of Mila when I read that, because Mila is part of the Palmyra project, Palm with Cengate, and they have actually already made it so clear that tracking commodities, tracking things, anything from vaccines to handbags to kiwis to whatever you can think of, when you want to track something through a supply chain, there is a great use case for blockchain, and an even greater use case actually for privacy. So I think this is an interesting one, and I love to see. 100 million doses of vaccines, probably not much in the big picture, but I don't really care. It's about the use case. It's about proof of concept for these things. So I'm super excited about things like this. And the healthcare market overall is massive. Not just for vaccine tracking, but for information sharing between hospitals and things like that. So that's great. COTI ship is actually, he's just boarded the flight for Cannes, the lucky bastard. Yeah. And I can understand, Tracer, you're really upset that Jen let you down on the tickets for going to Cannes. That was totally not okay.
You know what was funny about it? She was already with Mark, and I was like, "Oh, you guys are already there." Like, I'm still waiting for it. She's like, "No, actually, we're in Monaco right now." And I was just like, oh, "Okay." Now I'm like, I'm not talking to you anymore. That's it.
Yeah, no. So I mean, to be honest, and I've said this recently, the more I see of what Ship is doing, and just so everyone knows, that partnership we just mentioned with Statwick, he's got a bit of a finger in that. So I'm not sure I'm allowed to say that, but screw it. ships
Where's
doing
the
amazing.
Shahaf clip? Where's the Shahaf clip? Am I allowed to? I don't know that.
One for that. There isn't one for that. But no, Ship is doing amazing as our business development lead, and I know Joshua rates him super highly as well, and that's more than enough for everyone should rate him highly. He's going to do amazing things for us. Last but not least, the boys at Crafter are now teasing the NFT trading, NFT marketplace. So that's obviously just around the corner. So yeah, a busy week. And I think, by the way, this NFT marketplace, I think there might be more to that one than meets the eye. If people put two and two together with everything we've had tonight, I don't know, just my theory.
Wow. Yeah, it's been it's been a week, man. It's been a week.
It has been an amazing
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's enough of that. Yeah, I think I had to watch that. It's funny. Like, I think I had to watch that thing. I don't know. I want to say 100 times, but it's, I probably scrolled through it about 20 times. Chopping up Shahaf's words. It's very difficult because you want to keep it all there, but I wanted that one almost 2 hours to be more consumable, right? And I can understand why people say like, oh, 2 hours, no thanks, right? That's why the clips are so powerful. But I also thought it was important to kind of condense it down into 1 hour. And it was really, really tough. Like, I had to take some stuff out that I didn't really want to. But yeah, I said this a little bit earlier in the hour before this, but I really thought that doing something like this and then keeping up with it, we could kind of mark a community sentiment bottom, right? So many people hold grudges. It's the craziest thing. So we did get some insight into, just how it works at COTI and how it worked and why we're here with V2. I thought it was really, really interesting. He was super candid, and I think just him being at home and everything, and it was supposed to be like a real chill, like a fireside casual kind of chat, and I really got that vibe from him, and I think it was a really, really good moment. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I wasn't kidding. I've been waiting for like 3 years to ask him, but I wanted there to be something. Because of the popcorn, yeah. I wanted there to be something special there, but yeah. I really think that this could be a turning point in a lot of different ways. I think it's like, let's just focus on V2 now. This is what's important. Like what he said, what we have coming is huge. Why are we even talking about? Like, I love how you say it, right? You call it like a corner shop or whatever, and now it's like a big. I like your analogies on V1 to V2.
No, I mean, listen. You know perfectly well my feeling every time somebody mentions the PPN. I get red spots all over because it really annoys me. Yeah, so we can put that to bed. We're not going to talk anymore about the PPN ever. Yeah, let's instead pick up. I mean, some of the things that I didn't include in the weekly update. Yeah. Shahaf mentioning that, in terms of traveling around the UAE, they've been in and around different things in Dubai, but they also went down to Abu Dhabi. Yeah, now I've spent close to half my life in Abu Dhabi. I know that place like the back of my hand. And when Shahaf says he's been to Abu Dhabi talking to different funds, yeah, I want to remind everyone that Abu Dhabi alone has about, and these are the official numbers, the unofficial numbers are much higher, but the official numbers are about $1.5 trillion sitting in various sovereign wealth funds. So they've got Abu Dhabi Investment Council, they got Mubadala, they got like 6 or 7 of them. They split it all out on various sovereign wealth funds that do different things in different spheres. So if Shahaf and possibly Joshua have been down there talking to some of these funds, That is absolutely massive. Now, we don't know what's going to come out of it, but we do know without a shadow of a doubt that the UAE as a whole, and that includes Abu Dhabi, they are super, super, super keen on blockchain technology. Anything to digitalize the society in general. Yeah, I don't know if you haven't been to Dubai recently, but I have. Yeah, just an interesting little observation. You can go in and out of that airport and you never have to take your passport out. Even as a visitor, it doesn't matter. You don't have to show your passport anywhere. It's all run by facial recognition. That gives you an idea. Just to put in context how serious these guys are. Yeah, they're absolutely, they got hard-ons for this stuff. Really, really going for it. So that is super exciting, and that how UAE can move fast with these things. So I like Shahaf saying, yeah, these things take 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, but when the time's right, yeah, true. He knows more about it than we do, but things like the Middle East, you can get these things moving even quicker.
Yeah, wow. For anybody who wants to join the speakers, because we're going to say it over and over again, this is what we really want, is to have you guys in the room talking, right? Just jump over to the COTI Confidential Telegram. I have Shield the link in there. Shield the ticker. That was my favorite part. I can't stop thinking about it. I need to clip that. Shield the ticker. Yeah, but we really want you guys to come join in and speak. And if you can't, throw the comments up, okay? That's what this is about. And while you're at it, share the space, share the room, help us grow the channel. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think while we wait for that, we can address. I saw Cody Mark's comments today. Yeah, and totally fair. But I just want the flip side of that comment is that Shahaf has actually made it very clear that give it a few weeks. We're working on getting everything in place so we can share what we promised you we would share. Yeah. Right now, everything goes out of the Genesis wallet for tax reasons and stuff like that. And I appreciate Mark can't see all of that. I don't watch wallets, so it's very difficult for me to say too much about it because I'll be talking about something that I know nothing about. But yeah, I think we give Shahaf the benefit of the doubt on that. That will be my concern. We'll remind him. We got no issues in reminding him, and I'm sure he sees the comments as well. This should be clear to everyone. He actually pays quite a lot of attention to what goes on, even though he doesn't interject himself that often.
Yeah, and Mark, I can see Mark's here. So how's it going, man? That's what that question that I asked, like, why are we still doing things manually? Okay, that I'll be honest, that was my question. And the whole team knows that's my question because I've been in any group, where we talk about, community issues and stuff. I think I had a little bit of a crash out actually a little while ago. And I just went like, why are we doing this? Like, this is blockchain, and Shahaf made a really good point. He said, well, it's the treasury that does this. It's a product, right? So it did, like pull me down a little bit. And I knew that. But it is good to hear it. But it's like, why are we doing things manual? So I've seen your posts, Mark, and we're all kind of waiting and wondering. But I think it's kind of addressed there when Shahaf spoke about that.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting that since the blog post and since your interview, that's really the only thing that's come back, and where people have said, yeah, but I still want an answer to this. Even the staunchest fodders have been remarkably quiet. So that's good. Yeah. And we do need that little bit of transparency. That's always been something that I've advocated. But Shahaf also makes the point that COTI is actually releasing much more information than they probably should. Yeah. In the context that they're a private company, they don't have any obligation to do so. So I think, in the next couple of weeks, and we will remind the team if we don't see it. But I think there'll be a little bit more on that in the next few weeks.
I mean, he made it obvious there, and I can't remember if it's in the condensed supercut or not. But when he said, like, frankly, I'm pissed off about some of these things. Like, he said that in front of everybody. I'm pissed off.
He did.
Yeah. So can you imagine any of the development team that see that, and getting aired out in front of the community? Like, this is going to be a big deal now, and I'm sure it already was, but it's like he is going to go and get that fixed. So he talked about prioritization and everything else like that, and I think after that chat, it was like, okay, like this needs to get fixed right away. So yeah, Mark, we hear you. It is super frustrating. I expect them to jump on this as fast as possible. I guess it's difficult, right? Because they gotta fix it now before they fix Treasury. Like, it's like they're doing things and doubling back on it, and I can see how frustrating it is. But yeah, as it's something that, no matter what, it's something they have to fix right now. Eli asks a question: do you have any more speakers lined up? Do you mean for COTI Confidential, or do you mean for kind of like a Your Questions Answered kind of podcast thing? I did say in the last hour that we do have a bit of a, special guest coming on COTI Confidential in the next couple weeks, but might not know when. Might be a surprise. Might be anytime. Might be later. Who knows? But it's a big one. You guys will love it. So be here.
Sneaky. I can't believe I can't believe that's the first I hear of it. Honestly.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
No. I mean, I leave it all in your capable hands, buddy. Don't worry. No, it's good. It's good. Just a word on all these. COTI V2 is an absolute monster with so many complexities and levels of complexities. To even think about comparing it to V1 is not doing either of them justice. Yeah. There's so many things going on. Yeah. And we do need to have safety and security at the top of every decision they make, which I know they will. So, it's more complicated than probably what we think.
Guess who's here, Soren?
Either Paul or Stefanos.
Yeah, so when you say quiet few months, I'm sure you mean price action, because if you're talking about updates and working towards adoption, you're out of here, man. Crazy. Written off the year because of markets. Well, you know what happens when you do that, eh? Sometimes you miss it. Paul does maintain that he's locked 360 1-to-1 with COTI, and yeah, you know what? That's the play, right? He thinks it's his magic formula, but I mean, that's the play.
No,
everybody knows this.
Believe it or not, there are a few things I agree with Paul on, and one of them is that locking your tokens indefinitely with a 1-to-1 COTI, that's the way to do it. Yeah, and Eli very, very succinctly points out that markets turn fast, and I made the point to Eli earlier today. The way that they're going to turn is that they're going to pump. None of us are going to believe it. We're all going to be sitting around waiting for it to dump just as quickly, engulfing candles and all that fancy schmancy stuff, but it won't. And that's when we'll be sidelined. Yeah, that's when people are getting sidelined. And it happens all the time. Why should this one be any different?
So I've been pretty transparent about, and this goes back to like COTI launch and that kind of stuff. I've been pretty transparent about when I think that COTI seemed a bit overpriced. And I mean, who knows what it's worth, right? COTI Unity was in the chat going, no, this stuff is great. It's it's limited to supply. You get a great APY boost after 2 years. It's paid for itself, or whatever it was at the time. But I wasn't a big fan of the ratio when you could only get like 2 for 1. Lately, I've been looking at it and been like, yeah, it has gotten really interesting. And I didn't know, like when I was asking about node sales and everything, I didn't know what to do with my tokens once they migrated. And I was just kind of sat on them thinking about it. Like, do I want to fully lock up? What do I want to do? And so I finally made my decision now because, and I'll tell you why, I had a lot of trouble wrapping my head around the tokenomics. I think everybody would, and I've read everything. I've listened to everybody speak, but it was just like, it's a really tough one to grasp. In the last week or so, it really kind of just finally clicked for me. It took that long, but it was like, I'm starting to see the vision now. I really am. And so, yeah, so now I know where I'm at. I know that node sales are quite a way down the line. With what Shahaf is hinting at for pricing, I think that, a lot of us were overthinking it. So, there's a lot of time to make some APY, use your rewards. So that's where I'm at. But I'm not kidding, man. Like the tokenomics thing, like that was a tough one. I get it. And it was, I still, I was listening and I was like, yeah, okay, well, I guess we'll have to see. But now I get it. And it makes sense. And I'm on board. And I'm a full believer in the new tokenomics.
Yeah. No, it's and I think everyone will eventually come around to similar conclusions. Yeah, need to let things play out a little bit because there's so many things that are interconnected and so many moving parts to this one. Just a comment on the the license prices. You were pushing Shahaf a little bit on that, and he wasn't really budging. And you made the point afterwards that probably because COTI have already priced the licenses in USD. Yeah. So the price could be, I don't know, 1,000 COTI today. It may only be 100 COTI when we get to Q4. So that's why they're waiting a little bit to give you the price in COTI because we don't know where the market's going between now and then. So, but when Shahaf says it's going to be affordable, and you don't have to make, you probably won't have to make a ton of extra provisions to be able to buy licenses. I think I'll take him at his word for that for sure.
COTI Unity has been preaching this kind of stuff for a long, long time, and he always made a good point, and it made more sense the further we got with V2. It's like, if you are frustrated with the tokenomics and the inflation, G-COTI is your hedge. And it's not only a hedge, it's your APY booster. So yeah, that, what? That was the alpha all along. COTI Unity was right the whole time. There's a bunch of you guys, okay? I love Unity, man. I haven't talked to him too much lately. I'm used to having him on stream, so that's why I'm throwing his name like crazy. But it's the price right now that it makes lights are going off in my head, right? So nothing is ever financial advice, but man, it's an interesting play anyways, right? Because of the limited supply, APY boost, governance, really interesting.
Yeah, and I've not tried the app yet, but our friend from Wales Moves have done a GitHub thing, and you can set it up. You can even set it up as an app on your phone. So I want to let people know that go and check it out. I haven't checked it out, so I don't know what it's all about. Other than you can check the amount of COTI and G-COTI flowing in and out of Treasury, plus a whole bunch of other things. So yeah, exercise your usual levels of caution and safety when you go to these third-party apps, but he's promoting it quite heavily. So I'm sure most of you will have seen it by now.
Yeah. Another thing we talked about, Shahaf and I had to bring up Jed, right? Obviously. Such a big deal. For the reason that I said, 90%, if not more, came from Cardano, right? People are quick to FUD Jed. Like I said, 4 million supply. Yeah, when people compare it against USDT and stuff, it's small. But I don't know what it is today, but at the time that we recorded that, it was 17, almost $18 million locked in the platform. I don't know, man. I think that's awesome. I don't get it. I don't understand some of you people.
No.
What is the problem with that?
And there's
Help me
absolutely no
understand.
problem. Yeah, there's absolutely no problem. Unless you're looking for a problem, you'll find one. Yeah. Jet has never been out of a bear market. It has been in a bear market since the day it launched. Yeah. Cardano has been ranging from 20 cents to $1 for all of Jet's life. Yeah, and Jet hasn't lost its peg once. No one has lost even $1 on that stable coin, which is far more than what you can say for a bunch of other stable coins. Yeah, and yeah, so it's not getting enough usage on Cardano. Well, that's not
I love
that,
Jet.
that's not really our problem. It's everywhere. It's community are voting with their wallets and their feet, and they're entitled to do so. And the Cardano DeFi system still has a long way to go. It's far more developed than ours, of course, and a bunch of other people's, but it's also less developed than a whole bunch of other chains. Yeah, so Cardano also has a long way to go. But the most exciting part is that we're going to open source Jet, and we're gonna be able to actually play around with the over collateralization, and there's all sorts of permutations there that you can play with, and that's really, really interesting because the concept's proved itself without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really excited for that part where you talked about a private jet, because when they first started talking about open sourcing Jet, it was like, okay, I get it. But now if you're going to open source it and do something with it, then I'm excited. Just to open source it and make it feel like we were walking away from it, that's one thing. But and I like what he said about Midnight too. He's had this opinion for years and years and years. It doesn't matter who's doing what and who gets the attention or the adoption, because a rising tide lifts all ships, right? We're going to say that over and over again, but it's true. It's true. I loved that part.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but I think it was around, maybe not directly connected to your talks, which I have about Jet, but he did mention that just before he got on the call with you, he'd been on a call with a prospective client doing banking on another blockchain. I think it must have been around the privacy on demand part of your discussion.
Hey, do you want to? So we were talked about speculation with PPNs and everything else like that. Do you want to speculate on that? I have a theory, man. I have a theory.
I'm going to hear your theory, but I don't want to speculate. Yeah, I don't want to
It's the guy that we saw with Joshua, in Dubai. He was on the last COTI Connect. I don't know. Do your research. I don't want to say it out loud, but I'm thinking, I feel like, why would he say that if it wasn't obvious? I don't know. I think it's,
the French guy.
Well, he may have a French name, but he is not French.
Right.
Yeah, you're on the right track. Go figure it out, guys.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
But no, I mean, so there's a whole bunch of interesting, the Jet part is super, super interesting. I agree with you. That was really one of the big ones for me. The other big one where it didn't make it to your supercut is that and this also has, when you put it in a little bit of a context, yeah. So Shahaf and Dr. Nir Halawani, they had this, or Nir Halawani's developed this trading algo, or as Paul used to say, neural network. Makes it sound like bloody Terminator, but okay. So they've actually, and this was in the original interview, yeah, they bought Bitcoin at $2,400 and they bought Ethereum at $70. Yeah, and if they spent a good chunk of the ICO money on Bitcoin and Ethereum at those prices, no wonder they have a long runway. Yeah. And if they then, on top of that, got a neural network that with a success rate of about 80%, it means two things. It means they can continue to have a long runway. It also means that there's an 80% chance that they know when is the best time to put out the bigger announcements and things like that. You can start, when you have a trading algo like this, you can start thinking a little bit more strategically about a bunch of things. If you know that it's got an 80% success rate, yeah, that sort of
Okay.
stuff. That sort of stuff fascinates me.
I want to play something here. I think this is the right one. Is this the right one, Paul? This is the right one, right? Let's play it. I think I got it queued up right. We'll find out.
One of the things that people don't know about us is like what has been our secret weapon, because we never raised a lot of fund or sold a lot of tokens, and we managed to somehow fund a lot of the beautiful things you're hearing about. And so the secret weapon has been hedge funds that we're all partnering. So my co-founder is a math PhD with 14 patents around AI and pattern recognition. So the company to IBM, the smartest guy in any given room, right? And he's been training a neural network for 10 years. And we're trading about using its prediction for the past 5 years. It takes about 40 proprietary signals from the market, takes it all to the neural network, and that creates like a short-term prediction about major assets. So it essentially tells you, I believe BTC will, rise, drop to this price in the next 48 hours. And this really sounds borderline crazy, but the reality is that the win rates of it has been about 80% in the last 5 years. And it allows you to take small bets, and that becomes major upside over time. You don't need to risk much because the win rate is pretty good. And it kind of like did about 100% a year every year with very low drawdown. So today it's mostly prop trading. Every now and then we kind of onboard.
And it goes on like that, right? So, but yeah, that's what he was talking about there. Bear in mind, that's like almost 3 years ago now, but that's what he was mentioning.
But, it blew my mind when he dropped that little bit of alpha about Bitcoin at 2,400 and Ethereum at $70. That's just insane. I mean,
let's jump back to this one. This one got buried on my screen. Well, my theory has always been that since you're collaborating with IOG on this, I think that those things can be very, very difficult. So I'm not sure. And I'm not saying you are faulting COTI, but you do a lot of that. I'm not sure that we can fault just one side for this. Either way, Paul, we're moving on. We talked about this. We had our little healing moment, okay? I want you to, be with us on this. We're moving on. Private jet is coming. Open source is coming.
Absolutely. And I think from here on in, I'm going to take a leaf out of Shahav's book on this one, yeah? So whenever people ask me about timelines, I don't care. You will see it when you see it. Yeah, because there's so much stuff going on in the background that either they can't control or we don't know about, or both. Yeah, so it's quite ridiculous and pointless really for us to sit and moan about timelines. We're just tying ourselves into knots about something that we can't dictate anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the next thing coming, probably a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks down the road, will be the MetaMask Snap. I'm really looking forward to that, where we can start learning about how easy is it to onboard. We need to onboard our wallets, and we need to get some different keys that we need to use for making our transactions private and things like that. That really excites me, because that now brings it out a little bit to the masses on MetaMask.
I'm really excited for Crafter's NFT marketplace, because yes, we've had community NFT projects and stuff, and we've goofed around with them. But once we can start trading them and, gamifying things, that will be really, really cool. I'm also very excited, and you guys know how I feel about Carbon, but Privex, I've been really excited about this for a long time. And COTI is doubling down on this, and I can understand why, right? But man, is that ever cool? And again, if you guys haven't played with it, go play with it. It's super, super slick. I know somebody in the room right now who's definitely playing with it. Yeah, you. What do you think, man? Like, you've used it, right?
Here's what I think, and this is because it's still early days for Privex. Yeah, I'm in top 5, or I was in top 5 in the Trading Olympics, and that's why I mentioned it earlier today. People should go and have a look at it. I mean, I'd be happy to take that $300-400 USDT or USDC for myself. I don't mind. I could use the money. But guys, go in there while it's still relatively undiscovered. Make a few quick bucks for yourself. Do a bit of trading back and forth. Easy money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that I wanted to comment on your what you said about Crafter and the NFT marketplace. The one thing I will say, first of all, it's brilliant. We need it. The second thing is that the node operator licenses and the light licenses will eventually be tradable. They won't be tradable from day one. I think it'll be 1.5 year down the line, probably. They will allow them to be traded on the open market. Yeah. And we will have our very own platform to handle the bulk of that.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy thing. I wonder if people
I am taking the money, of course.
You got to wonder how many people are just going to buy light licenses and to sell them. Like, obviously not sit on them, delegate them for now, but just to sell them in the future. It'll be interesting to see how many licenses there are of each type. Is it, if it's based on, you know, network size, adoption, nodes. Like, I just... There's so much that they can play with here, and there's so many unanswered questions. I'm buying to use. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that one. That's huge. And like I said to him, like, when you start talking about nodes ecosystem, there comes the engagement, you know, in terms of, you know, Telegram and posting on X and stuff. It really is a big one.
There was a little bit of alpha in your interview with Shahaf as well. So we are now quite clear that you will be able to own more than one.
Yeah.
You will be able to buy multiple licenses. There will be a ceiling. I don't know how much that ceiling will be. And wise from Shahaf, from his side, not to say anything about it now, to be honest. Yeah. That we can all sort out later. But you will be able to own more than one license. It is easily... Looking 6 months down the line, it's easily the most exciting thing we got coming up that we know of.
Yeah.
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 And,
is there anything else you guys or Soren wanted to talk about? We're at 2 hours here. I know COTI Confidential was a little bit short because we ran over in the previous hour, but is there anything else you wanted to hit before we move on here? Look forward to next week.
Yeah, I mean, the moment you launched, the moment you premiered the Supercut, the price charts went parabolic. So
yes, that must be it.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at the chart forever. What's
the price? Where
there's
smoke, there's fire, mate. That's
shill the ticker. Shill the ticker. What's the ticker? What's the price?
Yes.
No, seriously, what's the price?
5.24 cents.
I used to do when we started the COTI Community Podcast, the first 2.5 minutes of it was like market overview. Bitcoin is here, Ethereum is here. Used to talk about COTI, the CVI, everything else like that. That was fun. I missed that. Maybe it's Shill the Ticker. Maybe I'll bring that back because everybody knew what the price was, but it was fun when you were rewatching an episode to see, oh, this is what we were working on and this is what the prices were. I thought that was cool. All right. I think we're good. Do you think we're good?
Yeah, I think we're good, mate. It's been a very pleasant 2 hours. Really enjoyed it. So, I think we had quite a large audience, especially for the supercut. So, super happy with that because what you've done with Shahaf for this interview, really the whole community needs to listen and understand and digest all of this because there's almost everything that as a community member you could ask for in terms of direction, in terms of the like you said, how are they thinking about these things, what's it all going to look like going forward. So
Yeah, it's been an interesting 3 years, and podcasting all started with, it was like, okay, we have these great builders like Steph, and so one thing about Steph, okay, and building is that he wasn't just good at it; he was incredibly fast. This is the pre-AI, okay. When Steph builds something, he codes it, right? And he was just always so fast to put stuff out. So I was going up against guys like him. He came right after me. I think he got onboarded right after me, but we were kind of, vying for a spot at the same time. Never any animosity or anything. And so it was like, well, how am I? Because that's not my thing, right? I can run a node, but like, I'm not going to go up against guys like Jordy and Steph, right? So how do I find a way to, get to mainnet? So the podcasting was basically a way to get me there. And so I got to mainnet. That was great. And then after, a month or two after, it was like, wait a minute, like now this is like turned into a thing now. And now it's like, it's not about me getting to mainnet. Like now it's like, people started calling me the voice, right? Which was so cool. And I was like, okay, it was like one or two people. It was kind of an inside thing. And then it started to stick. And I was like, wow, like that's a crazy thing. And so it became this like, well, I want to educate, right? And so we started doing that a little bit with Canuck and Jordy. Jordy is an awesome security resource. But then, we have so many talented people in the community, and I wanted to be an educator, but then you got people like COTI Unity, right? And COTI Ship, and it's like, well, I'm not going to try and, compete with these guys. So you bring him on, and it was like, that's why Unity was around, because he's just so good at explaining things. Not only visually, but, just talking things through. So this whole thing with Shahaf, I wasn't kidding. I was waiting for something special. And it was like, when I come on and do this, like, let's talk about the hard things. Let's have it as a clear the air community healing moment and then move forward. And I really hope and believe that maybe we've done that and we can start looking forward now, because the V2 and the DAG, it's gone. It was, I like what Shahaf said, it was, we didn't like stumble across privacy by accident, right? So now we're here. It's a whole new game. We got people like Joshua, Daniel, etc. in the mix. This is a whole new thing. And we are very lucky that they took us along for the ride, because they could have just started a new thing and left us in the dust. So that's where I'm at on all this. I have never been more excited to be a part of it, not only as a community member, but on the ambassador side and creative side. It's been something, it's been amazing, actually. And that interview was huge for me. And I think we keep that going. And I think, in some ways, I think we might be witnessing a shift in philosophies on how we treat and handle our community and marketing. So I guess we'll see.
And this is exactly the point that needs to be made here. Yeah. And this is another thing with COTI V2. You and I can sit and talk about this for an hour and a half, Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. Yeah, because there's so many things going on in the ecosystem. We have never needed a live content provider more than we do it now. Yeah. And you just happen to be the best at it, because not only do you do great interviews and in a very professional manner, but you also know the project like the back of your hand. Yeah. We got some people doing things. You see a lot of people doing YouTube videos about COTI, and they clearly don't have a bloody clue what they're talking about. Yeah. So
AI, man. It's
we
the
need
friggin'
video
AI,
content.
bro.
Yeah, I know. And we need video content more than ever before. And we got so many things going on. And I'm very happy to say that you are the king of that, mate. So well done. And if COTI are smart, they'll use you even more. Yeah, let's just say that.
Bro, I am just the vessel. I provide the medium to bring people like you and Unity and Ship and Jordy, Soren, like Eli, like, you know, that's my job.
Exactly, exactly. And you do it super well. So yeah. I said it the other day, we're lucky to have you on our team.
I'm gonna cut you off soon. All right. Well, thank you. But yeah, so honestly, I meant it, man. Let's mark a community sentiment bottom here. I think this was a huge deal this week. So let's go. Let's get it done. That's it for me. Are you done? Because I'm finished.
I'm done. Thanks to everyone for listening in tonight. And we will see you all back next Sunday for a new round of COTI Confidential. In the meantime, stay COTI.
We are into the 23rd episode of the second season of COTI Confidential. And more people are showing up for these shows. And we thank everybody for taking their time out on Sunday, away from family and everything else, to come hang out with us and chat. But we want you guys in the room. So next time, do us a favor and pop into the room. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the Supercut. We are COTI Confidential. This is us, coast to coast and around the world. Take care. We'll see you next week.
Whispers in the dark where the shadows creep, spinning tales of power secrets they keep. 8 times leverage, dancing on the edge, but sinks at 100% dreams now hanging by a thread. Who is the cowboy pulling all the strings? A masquerade of whispers, the chaos it brings. Take 2 and go back to sleep tonight. GTA 6 never fades into the night. They gather in silence, plotting the play. Lines on the chart, they paint the decay. A community screams with a voice so loud, but the cabal just laughs under their shroud. Who is the cowboy pulling all the strings? A masquerade of whispers, the chaos it brings. Take 2 and go back to sleep tonight. GTA 6 never fades into the night. The advocate stands, but the odds are steep. Fighting the tide while the puppets leap. Echoes of truth drowned in the roar. The cabal's machine